Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. How we doing? Let's see. Got some peeps on today, of course. Hello, hello. Hello, Becca. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Elizabeth. Denise. Got Dana Rising on. Got quite a few peeps. Amelia. Jenny, you're on.
Hi. I wanted to say, Elise thought it was at 8:30. She was so excited to be on today. So glad you're still here. And then I'm trying to see, we had a new sign up yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm trying to see if she's on. She was going to pop on. Hi, Jessica, if you're here.
Got the Huffman on. It's a good looking crew, especially for the first thing in the morning.
They are a good looking crew. I only hire good looking people.
Oh, is that what it is? Wow, you are so superficial.
Duh.
Oh my God.
That's why I'm your friend.
Perfect, actually. All right, so lots of good stuff today. A little bit
Okay.
of a different twist. We're still on Eat That Frog. You know what is cool is this is really cool. So I've been in conversations with multiple agents where they were like, I had this problem and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And you know what I did, Jenny? I just ate that frog.
I love it.
So people are actually swallowing their biggest problems first, hitting the things they're supposed to hit first. And it's because of Eat That Frog.
Can I share a story really fast? Okay, so I was in Arizona this weekend with grandkids, daughter, son-in-law. And my daughter was super stressed. I'm like, make a list. And just put A, B, C, D, E by it, And she's like, okay, that's a great idea. And she totally thought I did it until I said delegate and eliminate. She's like, that's from your call. That's not you.
Oh, but you looked really sharp.
I looked like I was legit.
So A are things that you have to get done, right? And she's like, wow, Mom, you're so organized. I love it. I actually really do like the A, B, C, D, E because I still do this little exercise where I try to figure out what did I learn that day?
Oh.
And that ABC, every day at the end of the day, what did you learn that day? What was the highlight of your day? If you kind of go through those 3 or 4 questions at the end, the A, B, C, D, E, on your to-do list was pretty legit.
I like that.
That was one of my faves.
I like that.
So anyways, all right. So shall we jump in and get rolling? Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the law of 3. So we've got the A, B, C, D, E, and now we've got the law of 3. And the quote that it starts out the chapter with is, do what you can with what you have with where you are. Okay, that's how it starts. So do what you can with what you have with where you are. And we'll all start there. Okay. So it begins with now again, the Tracy organization is all about coaching and all that sort of stuff. So that's what they do, right? They do life coaching and all that. That's these, the people that wrote the book. One of her coaching clients, there's a story, or one of his coaching clients, there's a story. And she signed up for coaching and she said, okay, I'll sign up for your coaching, but my goal is this. I want more time off and I want to double my income and I want to do it within 90 days. So in 90 days, I want to double my income and I want to actually have more time off, not less.
Love it.
And he's like, okay, so that's what we're going to do. So, and she was a busy lady. She had kids, of course, a husband. She worked for a high-tech entrepreneurial company, swamped like no life. I mean, we have some people inside this company that are like that, that are just so swamped they can't even breathe. And that was her. And so a little bit of a different approach to how we do goals. So he had her sit there and he had her write down, I think, 17 things that, so if I were to ask you, Jenny, what do you do here at this company? What are your tasks? And you might write down things like, well, I have to follow up with agent leads. Sometimes, honestly, stuffing St. Patrick's Day, mailers. So there's all these different things that you do. Well, she listed out 17 things. So let's just assume that you guys did the same thing. So I asked you guys out there, what do you do as a real estate agent? Or, if whatever industry you're from. And then so she wrote them all out. And then he said, okay, I want you to circle the number 1 most important task that you do at the career that you're at. You know where I'm headed already, don't you? So circles the number 1. And she goes, okay. Now he goes, I want you to circle the number 2 most important task that you do in your career and in your life. Circles number 2. And number 3, I want you to circle the number 3 most important task. And so, again, of those 17 things, he said, these 3 things are the only thing that you need to be focusing on because 90% of the value that you have in your business are those 3 things. Everything else behind that is junk. Not junk, but things that maybe are not quite as important. So she wrote that all down. And, when he said 90%, he goes, it made sense, right? Even for us, right?
Yeah,
so I'm thinking about you, too. Even when I'm writing this, because I know you're going to be here today, I'm like, okay, what are the most important things that Jenny does? And is she getting bogged up in like the ones below 3? And am I too? And so 90% of your value comes from those top 3, and then everything else should be, like we talked about, delegated, downsized, outsourced, eliminated, that. So that being the case, on Monday, she went in and she met with her boss, and taking account this is not a salesperson, this is somebody that's in an organization, and sat with the boss, flipped around the list, and said, Mr. Boss, these are the 3 most important things that I do. And the rest of these things we got to figure out what to do with, because if you want me to be optimum employee or the best at what I can be, I need to focus on these 3, not these other 14.
So are you seeing that this is the conversation we're going to be having soon?
Yeah,
I'm going to be flipping.
Well, this is you. You just don't know it. I am talking about you.
He's my ninja me again.
So that being the case, the boss kind of sat there silently, and was looking at it and said, I agree. Those are the 3 most important things. And then she said, and the other thing is, I want to double my income if I can get these 3 things done, and if I can bring in more business, just like we as real estate agents. And he agreed. So they spent that week delegating out all of those other 14 tasks so that she could just focus on the big 3, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
So she delegated away and ended up doubling her income in 90 days. It actually happened. So, and this one I think you'll like. Go ahead. You have a comment.
So I just keep thinking mindset. Did she double her income because of she changed everything up, or because she said, I'm going to double my income? Or do you think it's all a little bit of everything?
According to her, it was just, and the boss even said that these are, not only are these the 3 most important things, but these are the 3 things that you are best at. So,
gotcha.
So you're helping in marketing, doing flyers for St. Patrick's Day. Is that what you're best at? I mean, hey, everything is squared up and really pretty that you do.
But did it make me smile?
Well, it did make you smile. You should have seen her working on the little, I don't know if you guys are out there when you're doing the little menial tasks, like the little things like, I mean, I made hummus this weekend in a food processor.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It was fun. Just doing monotonous, brainless tasks was a lot of fun. So I get that.
Yes.
But is that the most effective use of our time?
No, it's not.
Okay, so you're going to love this one, because this one's right up my alley, too. Okay, ready, everyone? This is called the quick list method. The quick list method, the QLM. And the quick list method is that you write down the 3 most important goals. So if I were to ask you right now, and I know you got a pen and paper there.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, we're gonna do this exercise for a lot of you guys out there. What are the 3 most important goals in your life right now? Okay, you have 30 seconds. What are the 3 most important goals in your life right now? You don't get 30 minutes. What are the 3 most important goals in your life right now? And you know what? Hey, if you're not writing this down, that's fine, but at least put them together in your head. And I think you're going to find the answers interesting. Are you doing it, Michael? No? Okay.
Gee, thanks, Michael. Thanks for playing along. Who's playing along out there?
Well, you're done already.
It was just the 3 top, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this for 9 years with you, so
okay,
I know
good,
that.
Good. So here's the cool part now, right? So, and everybody's like, I can't think that fast. But what it basically says is, when you are asked to think that quickly, your subconscious mind kicks into overdrive. And it's like, boom, I know I want this, 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 and this. And it often surprises you how fast you can get those goals done, right? But we don't write them down. I should have done it too. So if you don't mind, are you willing to share them?
Yes, but they're all over the place.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
And this is why I don't invite my family to be on the show either, to listen. Okay, so 1, get healthy.
Okay.
2, show husband he matters.
Okay.
3, get 20 seasoned agents.
Okay. All right. Watch this.
Oh,
Ready?
God, I'm going to throw up.
No, this is great. This is great. So every single person, 85% of the time when I ask people, or when he asks people to write down their 3 quick important goals, here they are. Number 1, 2, and 3. Health and fitness, family relationships, and financial and career. So every single time, generally every person answers those 3 things. My financial career, my relationships, and my health and fitness.
That's crazy. Is there anybody else? Was that what yours were? Nod your head.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Elizabeth, no. Catherine, yes.
says yes. Becca says yes.
Brenda, no.
Well, and so that being the case, though, generally you're going to hit on one of those 3, which you hit on all 3.
Because I'm very normal.
But
I really am.
Yeah, well, you're very normal. Yeah. But in a good way, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, in a good way. So then we move on to this, and here's the next one. And I now it asks you in his exercise, and you know the way we do our business planning, we do our goal setting is, we fill out the books and do all that sort of stuff. But here's the next question that he asked. Just specifically business. What are your 3 most important business goals right now? And for some of you guys out there that are new to the business or whatever, it might be getting my first seller, getting my first buyer. What are your 3 most important business goals right now? That'd be the question.
Is there a timed?
Everything's 30 seconds.
Everything's
30 seconds. So you just got to rifle them out and rifle them down. Just rifle them down. Looks like some people are doing it. I like it. Some people are driving. You're off the hook, Duffy. John Hill, hopefully you wrote a few things down. Welcome back, John. I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. So that would be the next one. Okay. We're going to keep charging for a minute.
Yeah. Go.
The next one would be, and again, like I said before, the 30 seconds is actually more powerful than 30 minutes. Because people get so bogged down in trying to figure out what their goals are that they never actually get them done. That's why I've always liked these 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now here's the next one, the 3 most important family and relationship goals right now. Mm-hmm. Go for it. Just scribble a couple down, guys.
You write some down. Ha ha.
3 most important family and relationship. I'm a hot mess. I'm not writing anything down.
You're too worried about taking care of us.
Down.
Yeah.
So 3 most important family and relationship goals. I'm going to go ahead and move ahead a little bit. Mm-hmm. You don't have to write anymore. Okay. So next we have your 3 most important financial goals, your 3 most important health goals, your 3 most important professional and personal development goals, whether it's, learning to play the guitar or doing whatever. Mm-hmm. For some people, they like to make clothes or whatever. So it's just a different way of doing it. Another one is your 3 most important social and community goals. Are we giving back? Are we putting forward? I watched a little video of Ryan last time we were down in Belize this weekend, and I was like, falling away from all those positive things that we used to do with the community and all that, which is a bummer. And then the last one I think is significant too. Some surprise was in there, but what are your biggest problems and concerns in your life right now?
Ooh.
That's a heavy one.
That is a heavy one.
But you could write that down in 30 seconds. That'd be very interesting.
Go, guys, go. Do it.
Let's do that one. What's the biggest problems and concerns in your life right now? The biggest problems and concerns in your life. I'll even do this one. Yep, I'll do that one. Biggest problems and concern. Okay. So now at least we've written them down and addressed them, right? Mm-hmm. Biggest problem.
Mine are.
What's that?
I know what mine are.
What are they?
Chuck Whitehead, and Chuck Whitehead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nance, Arthur, and Michael Wysocki. Oh. All right. So are we good there? Mm-hmm. So just another quick way to just quickly recap where we're at in our lives. Mm-hmm. Quickly recap our finances. Quickly recap our personal. Quickly recap our health. Just kind of get in line with all that sort of stuff. So it's good. So that's good.
It's good.
So the next one is kind of addressing time management. Looks like we got somebody to mute there. Michael, I'm not sure who it is. Addressing time management. We talked about that before, and that's like choosing the most important things first and all that sort of stuff. But this one is a little bit different. I think you'll like it, especially you.
I need time management my whole life.
You know how a lot of times when we're setting our goals and doing this, we forget our whys.
Yes.
Like, why do I work? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? And Anthony Robbins is always, it's always about your why. Because I want to take my kids on a family vacation. Because I want a pool. So we can all hang out together. Well, time management in the way it was addressed in Eat That Frog was that by being organized and having good time management, it frees up time for the things that are important to you in your personal life. So your personal life, because we forget that the reason that we're here, the reason that we're at work, the reason that you guys are trying to sell houses, the reason that people are going to the office every day is to make money so that they can have a good personal life. But we forget that because this becomes so all-encompassing that sometimes we forget the big picture of why we're even here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you agree with that?
I 1,000,000%. And I keep thinking of Kayla. I don't know if Kayla's on or not, but she has a wedding coming up and she's super busy and she was on earlier. And I think she's pretty good at knowing her why. Yeah. Well, and for Kayla, I think she has a well-deserved break to enjoy this couple of months. After, and we're going to address that. And I do see Kayla is on. Okay. But we are going to address probably it almost directly applies to her and her. So this is a 28, 29-year-old that made $500,000 last year or whatever. But how she's moving forward and how she's doing it, but what she did last year is paying forward into this year. So I'm going to talk about that. Okay. I'm not going to get ahead of myself on that one. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yes. So the ultimate goal, and so we forget, like when we go to work and when you guys are there, Brandy Leathers and Sarah Price and all you guys, when we, and John, when we go to work and when we try to sell a house and when we send out the mailers and, text everybody and call our clients and do all those sorts of things. Like, it's the end goal. And the end goal is, the ultimate goal, right, is to live a long, happy, and healthy life. So by being organized in what we do, we are freeing up our ability to spend time doing the things that we like to do on a personal level. Because I just feel like we forget that.
Okay.
And
I get it.
I thought this was cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of stressful. I mean, it just depends on, how you look at the world. But his quote is that 85% of happiness comes from happy relationships with those who are closest to you.
Agreed.
So 85% of your happiness comes from happy relationships with those closest to you. And the amount of time face to face that you have with people that you love and people that love you is really what it's all about.
So maybe it's 95.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, you still maybe have to have some rewards of, enjoying what you do in your life, and you still have some independence, right? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I guess just because I love everyone who I work with, so I
love me?
I love you all. He's making me feel creepy. No, but or maybe I misunderstood it.
Well, yeah, no, but this, no, not at all. You hit it right, but it just says, and that's. But again, most people don't love who they work with.
Then they need to change jobs. They need to change brokerages. They need.
I know, right? Don't get any ideas. Stop it.
Oh. No,
No. But the kicker is, it's spent a lot of time talking about your personal life and your personal relationships and how the things you do at work have an effect on that and how they're directly correlated.
That makes total sense.
And we're going to jump ahead to that. So
I get it. I got it now.
Yeah. So let me fill you in a little bit. So, I'm way ahead of myself. And one of the quotes is that here's the rule, the book rule. It's the quality of time at work that counts, and the quantity of time at home that matters. So it's, he has a big section here where he's basically saying, like, focus and work hard at work. Keep your head down, be efficient, focus on the big tasks, And part of it I didn't like because it's like, don't get up and wander around the water cooler. Don't have social relationships with those people. Like, it's very work, business, where I think in our world, in the real estate world, when you wander in the office and you want to talk to Tom, or you want to, come in and you want to talk to Sonia or whatever, there's a lot of personal pieces that are involved, but he was kind of knocking that.
Well, I think even when, let's say you're trying to get that first deal, that first listing or whatever, you're doing your cards in the office, it's so important to be hearing that verbiage and to hear people talking and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I have to disagree with Brian Tracy on this one, but he wasn't in sales. He wasn't in about helping people. I don't think his profession maybe was. And we think about it as helping people. He's
just all business. But I almost feel like when you're in the real estate business, even having this conversation that you and I have is strengthening our skills.
Yes.
I mean, we are social creatures, and the way we interact with each other, and a lot of times in the real estate business anyways, when you are at that water cooler, you start having a conversation, and next thing you know, you mention, oh, so-and-so called me about this. I didn't think it was going to work out. Let me call him, whatever. Yeah. Or you know what, you have a listing coming up, like you're kidding me. So there is a lot of symbiotic relationships among independent salespeople. However, and Tom and I have joked about this quite a bit too over the years, is and Menifee and everything. There are a lot of people that are time wasters. A lot that never do any sales, and all they do is wander around with this cup of coffee, wondering what did you see the news, Adam?
You call me a time waster?
Yeah. Did you see what's happening with Bitcoin?
Now, by the way, but as long as it's good energy walking through and being like that, but then we have the negative Nellies, and that's what really, those are the time wasters, in my opinion, the ones who have such a bad energy all the time.
Right.
We're allowed to have bad energy every now and again.
Yeah.
And we go in there to be lifted and swapped.
Right. So John Hill, you mind unmute for me, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. I want to ask you a couple questions. So John, obviously John is a fantastic agent, and but John, do you keep a clear vision of work being work, and I'm here to put my head down so that on a personal level I can, live my best life? How do you view it when you go into the office or when you're chasing down a client or a potential lead?
Oh my gosh, when I go into the office, it's to get out of the house so that I can actually. So. When I'm at the office, I really do enjoy the whole environment there. And I do get a lot out of just listening and talking with those there.
Right.
And I have picked up deals over the years just by going to the office.
Right. So it is a different world in the independent sales business.
I think so too.
And because a lot of this book is written towards, trying to climb the corporate ladder and things like that, which there's nothing wrong with. I mean, he talks to the organizational world, but for us, I think we require a different form of motivation. And it's also like going into the office, John, is a little bit of therapy, because there's a lot of people getting a lot of no's at a lot of times. And somebody's got to say, like, I had one of those too, John. I got bitch slapped today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I get that. I pulled up to my house and I saw a sign in my neighbor's yard too. I mean,
it hurts.
You see that, and luckily when you hear other people going through that, it can be a little bit helpful. But I do believe, though, that we do need to be more focused on whatever we're doing, whether you're working at home or working in the office or whatever, because and now I'm going to go through some ways to avoid those distractions.
I love it.
So again, he says, when you go to work, put your head down and work the whole time. God, you think we can do that here?
No. But I think we could do, okay, I'm going to get this done. Like, what's that tomato
Pomodoro.
thing?
The Pomodoro test.
That type of thing. If we did that, maybe more time effective.
Does everybody know what the Pomodoro test is? Have I talked about that before? The Pomodoro?
Not on this show.
Okay.
No, I think
so let me explain what the Pomodoro is. So my friend works at Apple, and before that he was a coder, a programmer. And there is a tomato timer, and it's not called the Pomodoro test. It's called the Pomodoro Technique. And so what it is it's a timer. And if like let's say that Tom was a coder, Tom Wysocki is a coder, and he's in writing code and a software code and all that sort of stuff, and then he's 15 minutes into it, and somebody comes in and interrupts Tom. When you get interrupted when you're writing code, you have to completely start over. So that being the case, and that's why this is from the tech world. When you go by somebody's desk in the tech world and they're writing code, they have their tomato timer on the desk and it's set for 30 minutes. You are not allowed to interrupt that person in that 30 minutes. They have to shut off their phone. They cannot check their email. They cannot go onto the web. They cannot do anything. And let me tell you, I tried to do that with him when we were doing a project one time. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. I'm like, hey, Carrie, you remember? And he's like, shut up. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, dude, look at this email. And he's like, and I was like, oh, man. So it is so hard to focus for that 30 minutes.
There's the timer, by the way, on the screen.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, nice.
So that being the case, though, but that 30 minutes can be more effective sometimes than what we can get done in a day, because you're putting your head down and you're hitting that 30 minutes and you're charging towards it. So that is the Pomodoro technique. And it comes from coders, but we as salespeople can use that too. But you will find it is very difficult to not check your phone.
Do we start with 10 minutes, baby steps?
Even during this session, I keep my phone here and I'm getting texts from people, you know what I mean? So it's like, So, just something to think about. But
I like it.
So again, but like we said, this is true. If we're not working effectively and efficiently, though, we often do have to stay late and bring work home. And that is true. And that can interfere with your home life.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, and it is funny because I can almost guarantee you sometimes when we have to bring work home, it's because we were dicking around part of the day.
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? Instead of actually, next thing you know, you and I freaking were out talking in the hallway about, some crazy thing Adam came up with or whatever, So it's just by not being effective at work, it brings unnecessary stress, and
1,000,000%.
deprives our family members too of the best person that we can be. So
that was good. Did y'all hear it?
It's true.
It's
true. Deprives us,
That
so
hit home.
We have to be aware, that we just got to be more effective. But I think if you're hitting your goals at work, though, then I think you're doing just fine. You know what I mean? Hopefully you are. Anybody have any questions out there on anything? Son, you got anything you want to add? Yes. Go for it.
I was just going to say, a lot of what you're talking about now reflects back to the conversation last week about saying the hardest two-letter word that most of us can't say, and that's no. So because sometimes it's not the frivolous stuff. Sometimes it's you've got this person who, gosh, you feel this affinity for and you're building a relationship with, and they ask you, but you've got other priorities. So it may not just be frivolous waste of time, but still we have to be disciplined enough to know, when we've got our priorities for the day or for the week, even if it's something good and potentially positive, sometimes we still have to say no, or that's just not going to work for me. Let's take a look at the calendar and see when we can get this in.
Yeah.
Or see when we can find the right time. But that saying no is so important to everything we're discussing right now.
I agree, and there have been a lot of people that have talked to me about that. No, I mean, for a lot of people, it was an impact.
Yeah.
Because but I think you hit on it, Mike. It's like, how many times do we get asked to do things that are a complete waste of our time? And I think agents, like I said, they get asked to do things in deals. I've seen people go into complete panics over, a washing machine, and it sucks up, there's addendums and outside of escrow and this and that, and then they lose like 4 or 5 hours over a freaking washing machine.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, you know what, no, maybe that's something that we can deal with at close, or, I have no idea, but, what people find is important. Now, all those things are important, but no is huge. Yeah. And like we said, if you wrote out those 17 items and these are the 3 priority things that I need to do to get where I want to get in life, all these things down here should almost be no's, right? Anything that's addressing them. But Mike was saying too, like, there is so much value. I like you. And so I like to talk to you, but that might not be the best use of our time and going where we want to go, but it's okay because you're fun in your life.
And like he said, discipline. Now, I don't know about y'all, but like discipline is like a horrible word. It's just like, I have none. And so like when Mike said discipline, it's so true. We have to have discipline to look at what's best for our family, what's best for ourselves and our business.
True. I feel like Sonia's got something for us. Go for it, Sonia. What you got?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, it's interesting that first question you asked, I fell right into that mode of family, relationships, and business. And so I it was interesting that we all do that. One thing I do know that if you're not focused on the end results, you don't get it done, because you're taking, just like you said, you're doing everything in between, thinking you're going there, but you're really not doing anything to get there. And I've always thought that in real estate, if you focus on your business and truly stay focused
you're breaking up a little, Sonia.
on your business, 3 to 4. Yeah, I know. I've got a bad internet.
But go ahead, keep going. Go ahead. But we heard, if you truly focus on your business, that's what we heard. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you truly focus on your business every single day, 3 to 4 hours a day, not counting showing property, you will have a highly successful business. And that doesn't mean going to the office and sitting there for 8 hours and checking emails and social media and this sort of thing. There's so much more you should be doing and reaching out to get the business.
Sonia,
every single day.
Somebody said you look beautiful today, by the way.
She does.
I know.
Well, thank you.
It's probably because they got a coaching call coming up and they didn't do their homework. It was Darlene. But anyways, but Sonia, we've talked about this before too, and I agree. Like, you can still be a successful real estate agent by putting in 3 to 4 hours of work a week or a day. Sorry, if you do it properly. But even more importantly than that, and I think you would agree with this too, Sonia, if you do 15 minutes of lead gen a day, you will be successful. Because I believe 15 minutes is more than most people are doing.
For sure. And that's why I hate to sound like a commercial, but the action calendar. A lot of these people have like 2 gigs. Like, we have multiple hats they wear. And if they seriously will just do those little lead gens in the morning or just at their lunch break, it's going to be huge for them. And
I don't know, Sonia, why people won't do it. I don't know why, if it says text 10 people today, how effing hard is that?
Oh.
It's not hard, but people don't do it. Send 10 direct messages, and people don't do it. Send out your lotto cards, and people don't do it. Like, it's such an easy recipe.
It is.
And again, 15 minutes a day. I mean, and yet people don't do it. And I wish I could figure that out, and I don't know if it's
Chuck,
not. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I've always noticed is if you ask a busy person to do something, they're going to get it done. If you ask somebody who has all day to do a 15-minute call, they won't get it done.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
That's why you keep your kids busy.
It's scheduling, keeping things organized. But you've got, you just, I love being busy because I get so much more done. If I don't have a lot going on, I'm a total slug. I just
right.
really really hang out, don't do anything. But if I've got a full day, I can get so much accomplished. So just get busy, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the key. And again, for those of you guys that are struggling in the business out there, whatever the sales business may be, and I, you know what, I don't care that I'm continuing to preach about this because this is important. Like, you have to send out your texts. You have to make your calls. Like, when you say, what am I going to do today? You know, sitting around doing nothing is not a plan. And I think a lot of people, or I'm going to check my email, or I'm going to make a post, or I'm going to come up with a postcard, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. That is not the key to success. The key to success is making those calls, making those texts, eating that frog.
Yeah.
Right? Like getting, and once you've done that, it's like going to the gym. You feel good all day long because you did it.
True.
And then a couple months later, somebody gives you a call and they're like, hey, Brian Keene, this is Bill. You know, hey, just checking on you, man. I think I'm ready to sell my house.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, sweet, because you put the seeds and planted them 2 months ago. You're not going to get it today, but you're going to get it down the road. So, all right, I'm getting all preachy and upset.
I love it. It's so true.
I'm going to move on.
It's so true.
All right, so the Greeks.
Okay.
The Greeks said, and this is the first time first place it came from, is moderation in all things. Right? So you can eat, just don't eat too much.
The Greeks said that?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's a philosopher, yeah. You can go to the gym, but you don't need to be a friggin' gym rat. You can go to work, doesn't mean you have to work 24 hours a day, you know. And there was an analogy of the tightrope walker. And how often is the tightrope walker thinking about balance when he's walking across that line? The entire time.
Yeah.
You know, so we constantly have to be thinking about, you know, work and life balance for us too, because and I do know there are top producers in this company that are stressed the hell out. Would you agree?
Yes.
I mean, and we know who they are, that are at the end of their ropes and working their butts off and struggling at home and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I think it's because, you know, their balance gets a little bit mixed up once in a while. I'm sure Sonia deals with that all the time, working with the top peeps, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just important that we just don't ever lose sight of why we really work.
Yeah.
And I think we're all guilty of that, why we really work. And that is to be face-to-face with people who love you.
Exactly.
You know, and that's happiness, right?
It is. So you can, I
ahead,
agree.
you can-
I agree. I'm there's so many thoughts.
I know.
So many thoughts.
I know. So anyway, so that's the case. Dana Rising, I see, is also on the call. And Dana, if you watch Dana always has a pretty balanced life. She's always doing something pretty fun. Kids turned out great. You know, anything you want to add, Dana, to, you know, the work versus life balance and your experience, because, you know, Dana's been a top agent forever. What do you...
Oh, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Okay, I do have something to say, like I usually do, I guess. On why people don't do things that they know they should, I one time went to the Anthony Robbins thing, and he said that people either do things out of pain or pleasure. And so maybe people don't do things because they don't want rejection, they like to sabotage themselves, but for some reason the pain is overwhelming the pleasure of making those calls and making the business.
100%.
So there's that.
Okay. I like that.
And then the other thing is I think that in our business, it is important to have a relationship with the people around us, because they're going to help us be successful. And that's the great thing about this brokerage, is there's so many people that if we work together in, you know, helping find properties or whatever, that makes us more successful. So I think that there has to be a balance when you're in the office of, you know, communicating with everyone, letting them know what you're looking for, what you're doing, versus just maybe, you know, talking about what you did last night. So I think that's important in our business, because we have to rely on each other.
You know what? You know what the word is? I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Networking.
Yeah.
That's all it is. There's a difference between socializing and networking. And that's probably like when John said, I come in and I get deals, or I stop by property management and I get deals, or, you know, it's a form of networking. You know what I mean? And I think we're all looking for value, you know, from everyone everywhere, and how we can enhance our businesses and do all that sort of stuff. So I like that. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. Anything to add on that, Sonia?
Yes, I just want to, you know, when I talk to somebody busy, I often talk to Dana about her plate, how full it is. And she just totally surprises me, because not only is she in the top 10, but she sews costumes for 50 to 100 people, and she sews each costume, dance costumes. She's giving, she's supporting a child. She's traveling the world. How she does it all is she just stays focused on what she's doing. And I love it. Her plate is so full that if I wanted something done, I would call Dana and it definitely would get done.
I love that.
She's a prime example of giving back, being focused on her business when she's doing it. She's got her daughter with her. I mean, it's amazing to watch those two in action.
True story, true story. And if you want to know how Dana did it, you can see Dana on the screen right now. Dana's only 35. Okay, that's what happens when you put in that kind of work and effort.
Thanks, Chuck. That's really, really kind.
I know, what a dick.
Whoa. Take it easy over there. No, but Dana, it's all true. You really are. I mean, you do wonderful things, and she introduces, networks with wonderful people and brings wonderful people into your lives. And you're right about that.
Hey, Chuck, I think John Hill has something.
Johnny, go for it, buddy. What do you got, John Hill?
When I was in the car business, our managers would make us do tedious tasks. Go start all the cars so the batteries were there. Go put stickers on. And I watched a green pea get a great client while I was doing stickers or starting cars. And I went to him and I said, this is a complete misappropriation of talent. You're having us do things that are not going to make us money and take our mind out of the game of what we're here to do. And now that I'm my own boss, I look at myself and say, John, that's a misappropriation of talent. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be delegating it.
Stop starting cars, John.
That's good. That's good, John.
Stop starting cars.
Big deck, Johnny.
Big deck, Johnny. Yep, for sure.
And so he said, if you want something done, ask a busy person that's on all my ads, along with answer my phone.
Oh, it is on there. It is on his ads. That's funny. Nice, dude. Nice.
I love that. I love that because people that have all day to do something will take all day to do it.
Yeah.
And when you don't have all day to get something done, you get it done right now. And I'm a now person. And thank you for letting me share.
Oh, of course, John. And again, that goes back to the difference between a planner and a doer.
Yeah.
Because there are truly two different. I mean, there are people that can talk your ear off, and you're going to think this is the most amazing person in the world, but when it comes time to actually get something done, they don't.
Yeah.
And I know lots of them like that. You know what I mean? They're great to talk to, but it's like, dude, let's go. So, anyways, okay, we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Number 9. Okay, chapter number 9. Prepare thoroughly before you begin. Okay, prepare thoroughly before you begin. And it sounds basic, but I like it, and it's something we all have to hear again.
Okay.
So, kind of no matter what your level of ability, you have more potential than you could ever develop in your lifetime. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you need to do that? And the key to, at least trying to develop as much potential as you can is now, if we're following the outline of the book, we know that we need to hit our big priorities first. Mm-hmm. We know that we need to use the ABCDEs. We need to delegate things away. We need to eliminate things away. We know that there are certain tasks that we need to get every day that are going to have the biggest result for us financially, for our time management, to spend more time at home, to do all those sorts of things. And number 1, again, is now that we're at that stage and I'm getting ready to do those tasks, it's to have everything you want at your fingertips before you get started. Okay? Everything.
Yes.
So I talked about the home warranty rep that had her trunk lined up and everything was dialed in, and I'm going here. Well, we need to be doing the same. So the analogy is kind of like the archer with the bow pulled back. You have to be ready and have that bow pulled back before you take off. So, and the tools that you have on your desk and in your life are helping you aim, but also giving you the highest and best use of your time. So when Adam sits down right now, he's got 3 computers, 2 monitors, he's got a mixer. He's ready to go for his goal, which is to make sure that this show goes off without a hitch. So for us, it's the same kind of thing. So here's an example. When you cook at night, and
the same thing.
Is that what you're thinking?
Mise en place is what they call it in French.
Is it? Which means?
Everything in its place.
Right. So, and again, I told you last night was the first time I actually made hummus last night, which was cool. But so I had to, and it was on, I had this little ingredients thing and I followed it, and it says have this out, this out, this out, this out. So you lay out all your ingredients and then the meal becomes easier to make. Do you do that when you cook?
Yes. And I'll be honest, it's one of those things, I know I harp on this a lot. So when you don't have money, it's very hard. It's very hard because you don't have all the tools to cook the dinner. You have to really make shift. And I'm telling you now, I'm not saying, but now that we're a little more comfortable, I have the hot pad. Somebody burnt his hand the other day, a couple months ago. You know, I have all the things I need, and it does make my life easier. And with business, you know, having all my cards together, all my pins together, all my stickers together.
She owns a garlic press, I bet.
I do.
So setting out all the ingredients is kind of the best analogy for, you know, and I'm looking at John there, you know, and what he's got, you know, and I'm sure when he's getting ready to do what he needs to do,
he has it all.
Yeah, you got it all. So you need to lay out all the ingredients first to have everything ready to go, to get that meal together. And here's what it recommends. Clear your desk. Okay, so first thing you want to do is when you know you have that important task, right? Clear your desk, get rid of it. And I'm actually looking at John's desk right now, and I don't see anything in front of him. I see his monitors on, I see some of his ads, but there's nothing else there. Because what are they? They're just a bunch of distractions. Like even for me up here, I have my clicker for the monitor there. I have my phone in case, you know, somebody wants to comment and they don't want to put it here. I have the book, I have my pad, I have my pen, and I have my coffee. Right? But if you have other things around you, it's a giant distraction. So when you know that you need to do prospecting people, or I know that I'm going to write out, you know, 50 St. Patrick's Day cards, clear everything else away, because I don't know about you guys, but I'll see something on a pad of paper or something over here, and I will immediately push that stuff to the side and start working on this. I see a few people shaking their heads right now. So to do that, we need to lay out the ingredients and clear our desks. And then that way, the only thing that we need to worry about is that one task that's in front of us. So I thought that was cool.
That's brilliant.
But my problem is, I don't know if you guys run into this, when I started trying to put stuff away to get ready to do what I want to do, I'm like, oh shit, I never did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure you guys are running into the same thing, you know? So it's like I could go through this pad right here that Jen just gave me, and I'm like, oh, the holiday wall. I don't think I finished that, you know? So you got to be careful that, like, you almost just want to be like, you scoop it and just close your eyes right directly off to the side of your desk till you get what you need to get done.
Because that's what I keep thinking too. We would do 20 things before we got to the desk clean. That is called ADD, and I know most of us have it. But and I would love to see Dana's desk, because
I don't think we want to see Dana's desk. Well,
I remember when Dana was in the office all the time.
But it's not ADD. It's procrastination. Those things in front of us are the things that we use to procrastinate, to stop us from going and doing the things we need to do. That's really what it is. I'm guilty. Go look at my desk. You know what I mean? And sometimes I clean it all off, but sometimes you don't even know where to put some things because you know you got to do it. And you're like, I just got to put it over here, you know? So I see Sonia grinning. I feel like Sonia's got something to add to that.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at my desk and it's not clear by any chance. I have files, I have notes, I have class, you know, I'm taking classes, so all that's in one corner. And I'm only focused on my computer right now because that's where the action is.
Right.
And if I get laden with having to clean my desk every day, it's kind of, it just doesn't get done.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think clutter on your desk is something else.
Right. Things
that I'm working on is in front of me, but the clutter makes me very uncomfortable, and I do need to pay attention to that. And I think Dana's laughing because I think we both have that same thing where we collect things and we don't clean it all off. So organize your desk.
You know, Sonia, when you and I had our contest all those years ago, when we were, you know, trying to see who would beat who for the year, you know, when we were doing sales and all that stuff, one of my goals was no matter how late it was, I wanted all my files, because I remember one time I had like 12 deals going, and I was okay because before I would go home every night, my desk was dialed in. Everything was put away. There was nothing that I needed to do. And when I came in on Monday, it's a lot like having your bed made in the morning. You know what I mean? When you're super dialed in. And when you go to bed and your desk is a mess and you wake back up to that again, it's like, boy, this cycle just starts over.
Kitchen. Yeah.
The clean kitchen. It's the same thing. You know, walking around your house when it's dirty. I don't know about you guys. Go ahead, Sonia.
I was laughing because I remember when I was in the same office there with Tom there for a while, and you were in Menifee. You came down one day. I think you were there for 3 or 4 days because Tom had gone on vacation. And all you did was clear off everything on Tom's desk and put it in a box. and left it there. And Tom came in, or I came in, and I go, wow, what happened, Tom? And he says, well, Chuck cleared off my desk. And that box sat there for I don't know how long, because obviously a lot of that stuff wasn't real important. But it was Tom's comfort area. Am I right, Tom? I just saw you pop on there.
The box is still there, Sonia.
And that was 10 years ago.
I love it, Tom. You're so special.
I was actually going through at Christmas time and cleaning my desk. I found a newspaper that said Kennedy shot.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. That's funny. So, but yeah, I mean, but it is, I mean, even for you, Tom, because I know, even when I come in now, you usually have got a pile of, files that you need to check in, that you need to close out. I mean, all that sort of stuff. But again, that's one of your important duties. So I guess, that is an important piece. So I don't know. It's just a matter of like, what can we do to our environments to make them better? And that's what I was going to talk about next.
I like it.
So for us, so like I mentioned, clearing your desk so that you only have that one task in front of you. And for most of you guys, we should be clearing our desk so that we can spend 15 to 20 minutes on finding leads.
Yes,
15
exactly.
to 20 minutes on finding a buyer. 15 minutes on finding a seller. 15 minutes on finding somebody that you could refer out to another agent. And I know a lot of you guys, you think I'm kidding. 15 to 20 minutes is all we're asking. And 15 to 20 minutes will give you six figures, deep six figures. But you have to do it every day. You got to do it every day. Even for you, Ken, right? I mean, if you're spending a solid 15, 20 minutes, reaching out to other people every day, and you got that Pomodoro on, and nobody's bothering you, and nobody's knocking on your door, and nobody's coming in the office, and nobody's walking by, then you're going to kill it. Same with you, right? Recruits. You know that, hey, this is recruiting time, and that's why people time block, in their calendars to make sure, like, okay, this is the time I'm going to call agents and see what they're up to. So when I'm talking about getting everything ready, it's, your reports for you, right? Agent productions, things like that, details, papers, work materials, you said before, the things you need to have. And they all need to be within reach.
Yeah.
Right? They all have to be within reach, because the worst thing, according to this, to really procrastinate and not get anything done is to get up. If you get up and move around, you're dead. Okay, because you're never coming back. Because the last thing you want to do is get back on the phone and start calling for buyers and sellers again. Because you know what? Even going to the bathroom, I got to use the bathroom. I don't really need to, but I'll be back.
That's true.
And guess what?
Done.
You're not coming back. We know it. All right. So anyways, that's just one of the things.
That's so true.
Put everything in reach. Make sure. What are you laughing about over there?
I was just gonna say, keep a water bottle next to your desk or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Right, a water bottle.
Yeah.
Saying go potty.
Yeah. If you want to be serious, Tom, I expect you to put a water bottle next to your desk from now on, okay? But you cannot get
Just
up.
don't let it sit there for 10 years.
All right.
Even Michael chuckled.
Don't be laughing at your dad. That's not right. He's laughing with you, Tom. All right. So the other thing, for this world now and the world that we live in, the things that should be at your fingertips are emails, their phone numbers, your logins for Teradata and for all those sorts of things. Any other content that you need digitally, have everything up and ready to go. And I think for all of us too, have your social media open. Don't go down the rabbit hole though, but have your social media open to look at the contact that you are calling. That's all I was going to say.
Okay.
Because to me, looking at someone's social media before you call them is going to put you in the mood of their personality. Put you in the mood of who they are. And look at their picture and go like, oh, cool, it's Jenny. I'm going to call her.
I like it. Okay, I get it.
So email, phone numbers, content, logins, social media should be pretty much everything we need on top of, for us dinosaurs out there, pads and.
I love paper.
I know, but Adam comes in and I'm like, Adam, are you going to write this stuff down? And he's like, okay, boomer.
I know, it's so annoying.
And I'm like, no, dude, write it down so I know you're doing it. He's like, all right, boomer. I just want to slap him every time.
You may need a slap.
Boomer. All right, but whatever. There's nothing wrong with paper.
There isn't. We need to keep Dunder Mifflin in.
You know what? He puts the notes in his phone and he forgets half the shit he's supposed to do anyway. So sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but then the paper piles up, and that's the junk you're talking about clearing off your desk. 5 months. That's Tom's 10-year box.
All right. So so here's the next thing. So of course, we know we have to have the important things. I've got my book, I've got my paper, but the next thing is your environment. And I was looking at John, so I was looking behind him. You can see John. Look at that sweet ass desk he's got behind him. And I'm looking at some of you guys right now, and you've got yourselves into some pretty nice environments. I see your whiteboard behind you, Isabel. I know that everybody has got to create an environment that that you sit at that is comfortable, that's attractive, and it's conducive to working for long periods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a little different now because like you look at the millennials like Michael and Adam, and they don't have any pictures of anybody or any little statues or pen holders or anything like that. It's just their environment is dry and stale because they're getting theirs on their computer. But for us, like I have my coffee cup that my son made, or you have this or you have that. So whatever you do, take a look at your environment and make sure that it is inviting. Because if the environment where you're spending these long periods is inviting, you will most likely spend more time there. And then that should help.
Yeah, so if it's your dining room table or your counter, I know you can't leave it all set up all the time, but maybe in the morning after you get the kids settled on their Zoom stuff, it's okay to have your own spot.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Make your own spot.
For sure, somewhere, even if it's crammed into a corner of your master bedroom, So anyway, so I thought that was a good one.
I like it.
And the question is, how comfortable is your environment, and do you enjoy it if you were to go in there and look at it? Does it make you feel good? You know what I mean? So that's that. And it's sad how many books were not written, right? How many people didn't end up getting that college degree? How many dreams are unfulfilled because they never took the time to prepare to get those things done?
Yeah.
You never laid it all out to get it done and time blocked it away and realized that this is what I want to do. And I think we're all guilty of that a little bit. I really do. I think a lot of us just get distracted with everything that's going on around us, and we never actually finish the things that we want to do.
Right.
Speaking of that, I'm still working on that book.
Yeah, well, it's only been a week.
And I really do, if anybody is interested, and I would be really interested to know even on this call, like, are people interested in knowing what is involved with writing a book?
I am, 100%.
And what I mean is, would you be interested in knowing, like, so how do you start? How do you write the first word? How are you supposed to structure a title page? How are you supposed to, get your general ideas together, and then where do you go from there? How do you hire an editor? How do you hire a publisher? Like, is anybody out there interested in that at all, or would that be a really boring topic? Like,
Put
be
it
honest.
in the chat. Put it in the chat. Oh, Isabel, thumbs up.
If you think you would be interested in that, I would love to, because everybody's got a story to tell.
Everyone has a story to tell.
And a lot of people, have always wanted to write a book, or even if it's a little small thing to put together so that, your kids and grandkids and down the road, like, what can you take from your life and share with the world? So if you're interested, I would love to share that, but I don't want to get here and everybody be like, and then you have to write down and look for the adverbs. And don't forget that a prepositional phrase can never begin a sentence. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, big picture, what would it look like? Because I've even thought, to be honest with you, going over my book with this crew, and showing the process of writing the book, and even spending 5 minutes on these calls saying, this is where I'm at, this is what's happening now, all that. But I don't want to bore anybody, and I know it's not really real estate sales,
But this isn't all about sales. This is motivational. We all, like you said, everyone has a story, and I think people forget that. Each person has something so valuable to share with the world that maybe you sharing how you did it,
I would like to.
We can all take our lives to the next level. Even like you said, it's just for our history.
Even if one person writes a book out of it, I'd be stoked. And it can be the cat in the hat. I don't care. So
I'm writing a tell-all memoir about my experience working with you.
I was going to say, you're not.
It's going to be on Lifetime.
No, you're not.
Already got a movie deal.
I don't think it'd go on Lifetime.
Okay, let's keep moving. So the first step, once I've got my important tasks now, let's just kind of recap for a minute.
Okay.
Got my important tasks, things that can eliminate, delegate, all that sort of stuff. I have straightened everything out so that I can work on those tasks, built a plan of what tasks I need to do, gotten rid of everything that is non-essential, created an environment that I want to work at now, and now it is the first step past that, which is actually launching. Like starting it, like really saying, okay, I'm going to go with this task. And one of my friends, one of my best friends, he always says, this is a great line and I will keep this forever. He is always trying to start new businesses, and he's a smart guy, right? But we all make fun of him because the word is one of his friends actually originally said this, but if you want to do something and you think you can create a business, start with making $1. Just make $1. You got an idea on how you can make a bunch of money? Start with trying to make $1. Okay, and once you've made $1, then you can go from there. But you just have to start, right? Start trying to get that one person to give you $1. So And what happens is a lot of people get caught in that analysis paralysis, that procrastination, and they never actually get started with it because they feel their plan of the attack of the prospect and all that stuff is not good enough. And just get it 80% right and correct it later. Optimize that system. But right now, like today, if you guys could all text 10 people, Sonia, wouldn't that be great? Or call 10 people or write out, you know what? All you guys, every one of you guys should be sending out the lotto tickets for St. Patty's Day. I hope to God you sent that out because that is a badass mailer that you can send out with a lotto ticket in it. I mail one to you, Jenny. I send you a text this week and say, hey, by the way, I mailed you something. Make sure that you open it because there's a surprise inside. I've texted them. Then it shows up a week later, and guess what? Did anyone else send them a friggin' lotto ticket for St. Patrick's Day? No, but you did.
Yeah.
Even if you just did that to 20 people.
Yeah, just go and because it's
past the deadline for marketing.
But go buy your own cards. Just go buy your cards, or even just use the Cold Banker ones we have in there, and just go buy your lottos and just
Here's the note.
Do it.
If you hit the lotto and you're gonna buy a new house, don't forget who bought you the ticket. Okay,
yeah.
I love that. That's one of my faves. So get it 80% right. Don't overthink it. And what do they say? Like, perfection is the enemy of action. You know, it's just the way that it is. So you have to be prepared that not everything's going to go right, and that's okay. And you know, what's that hockey guy? You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. So you have to just try. You have to try. We're trying, right? Hey, we did this show. We're launching a bunch of other stuff, and you know what? It's not going to be perfect.
It's not going to be perfect.
Jenny, we're going to blow it here and there. We're going to get people logging off like crazy. Michael's going to say, hey, Chuck, we have 3 people followed on Facebook. And you know who it is? My mom. All right. And probably like 2 of you guys that are trying to procrastinate doing shit.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the 3 people that are on the call. So anyway, so we got...
I just want to say thank you to the 12 people that are on Facebook Live.
Ooh, we have 12 people on Facebook Live.
Hi, Facebook Live.
I wonder who they are. I would love to know who they are. Isn't that interesting?
That's awesome. Make sure you add us as friends so we know who you are.
Yes, and if you share it... Oh, didn't we have a contest?
We did have a contest.
Oh, man. You know what? We're going to have to do that next week. So we'll do that one next week.
I actually have a new challenge idea.
What's your challenge idea?
Well, not only liking and commenting, but if you share it and share some of the information you learned in the post, you are not only helping me keep my job, because my job's on the chopping block right now.
Oh, stop it.
But also you are paying it forward.
Right.
Yeah.
All this information you're getting, you're sharing it with the world, and there's someone out there who needs to hear some of this stuff. So
I agree. I like that, Adam.
But mostly my job's on the chopping block.
It is not.
Don't try to act altruistic. We know it's about you.
But so everyone who did it last week, you're going to be in the drawing and do it again this week, and maybe you get 2 if you also put a comment.
Yep.
You're gonna
we'll
add
do $25 cards. We'll do 2 more.
Okay.
Done. Okay, Michael? All right. So the last thing is, but when we were talking about, prospecting, and Sonia, I think you can attest to this. When we're talking about making those calls, when we're talking about sending out those texts, and I hope everybody sends out 10 texts today. I really do.
Okay.
10 texts. It's not that hard. But honestly, it takes courage.
It does. And we can do it. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it too.
And you have to act as if you have that courage. You know what I mean? And that's a big one. So, and kind of what it says is when you sit down and I'm ready to go and I'm going to call some people, I'm going to text some people, sit down with the body language of a high performer. Sit up right now as if you're somebody that kicks ass in your chair. Right? Sit up, and I'm somebody that is a high performer who likes reaching out to people. And remember that, and this is what you got to remember, you are efficient, you are effective, and you are a high performing personality. You are efficient, you are effective, and you have to think of yourself that way. And I can tell you guys this, if you send out 10 texts today, it's going to become a habit. And it's going to become a habit. And it's going to get easier. And then you can send out the direct messages, and you could do all those sorts of things. So anyways, as far as I'm concerned, happy Monday, everyone. Really?
Happy Monday, everyone. Thanks for being here.
And it's 10 o'clock. Let's go to work. You down?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. How excited you are? All right, Sonia, everybody, John Hill, everybody, thank you guys for participating today. It is exactly 10 o'clock, and we are off to the races. Thank you for joining. And any feedback you guys have, let us know. Okay?
Yeah. Bye.
So take care, y'all.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.